Hello, dear viewers and friends. Welcome back to our channel, where we share stories, lessons, and seek healing together on the turbulent paths of life. Losing a life partner, the person who walked with us through years of joy and sorrow, sharing every moment of life, is perhaps one of the most painful and difficult experiences a person can face. That pain isn't just the emotional burden of loss, of endless grief. It's also the overwhelming feeling that comes from countless decisions, big and small, suddenly falling upon your shoulders, precisely when you feel weakest and most vulnerable. In moments like these, when the heart is still raw and the mind is in turmoil, it's easy to make choices driven by pain, extreme loneliness, or even the invisible pressure from those around you. Decisions made while emotions are surging, in a rush to find an escape or temporary stability. But unfortunately, some of those decisions, however logical they might seem at the time, can lead to unnecessary regrets, unforeseen financial difficulties, or even emotional setbacks, making the already arduous healing journey even harder and longer. The truth is, although the pain of loss is an incredibly personal experience, different for everyone, there are certain things, certain decisions that you should really think through carefully, consider many times over, before quickly saying yes or diving into action right after your spouse passes away. In today's video, we will discuss 5 important things you should learn to say no to, or at least not right now, after losing your life partner. These are common mistakes many people unintentionally make during their most painful grieving period, only to realize later they acted before they were truly ready, both emotionally and practically. These are the hidden traps that can make an already difficult time even more complex and painful. By recognizing these traps now, you can proactively protect your mental health, financial stability, and even your physical well-being during this sensitive period. Please stay with me through this video, because these insights aren't just about helping you avoid mistakes. They are also a compass to help you navigate the next chapter of your life with clarity, self-respect, and the necessary support you deserve. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, this is a great time to do so. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos about health and happiness we'll share in the future. Your support is a great source of encouragement for us. Now, let's begin. 1. Rushing major financial decisions. One of the most common mistakes, and potentially the one with the longest-lasting consequences, is rushing into major financial decisions. This is completely understandable. Suddenly, you're alone facing a host of complex issues: bank accounts, insurance, investments, and possibly whether to keep or sell the house. Amidst the grief, taking immediate action can provide a temporary sense of control. But in reality, grief clouds judgment. Making irreversible financial choices too soon easily leads to later regrets. Decisions that seem logical during grief might not be good for your long-term future. Many feel pressure from friends, family, advisors, or their own internal sense of urgency, advising them to sell the house, move, or make large investments. However, the initial months after a loss are a time for emotional adjustment, not for making risky financial decisions. The smartest move is to pause. Give yourself time to process the grief and understand your new financial situation clearly before making decisions that will affect the rest of your life. Consider the case of Margaret, 74. After her husband died, many advised her to downsize her home immediately. The idea seemed reasonable. Less upkeep, lower costs, a fresh start. Just a few months later, she sold the home they'd shared for 40 years and moved to a small apartment in another town. But as the initial shock subsided, she realized she had decided in a panic. She missed the familiar space, her neighbors, the feeling of warmth. She wished she had waited longer. Financial decisions aren't just about real estate. Newly widowed individuals are often targets for financial predators who exploit their vulnerability. This could be unclear investment offers, high-pressure sales tactics, or ill-informed advice from well-meaning friends. Be cautious. If anyone urges you to sign papers, withdraw large sums, or invest quickly, step back and think. The best financial decisions are rarely rushed ones. Another related mistake is giving away money or assets too quickly. Grief sometimes comes with a desire to help others, children, grandchildren, charities, friends. Kindness is admirable, but making large financial gifts or distributing assets too soon, before you have a clear picture of your own long-term finances, can leave you vulnerable. Money you think you can spare now might be crucial later. Golden advice: before making any major financial move, consult trusted professionals, a financial planner, and estate lawyer. The first year after a loss should be a time for emotional stabilization and assessing the situation, not drastic financial changes. Many experts recommend applying the one-year rule, waiting at least a year before making irreversible financial decisions. This period allows the emotional shock to pass, helping you think clearly. Losing a spouse is hard enough. Don't add the stress of avoidable financial mistakes. Give yourself time, seek reliable guidance, and remember there's no rush. The best decisions are made with clarity, not pain. 2. Isolating yourself completely. After losing a spouse, wanting to be alone is natural. Grief is private, and solitude is sometimes the only way to process emotions. However, while needing private time is valid, completely shutting yourself off, cutting off contact with friends and family for too long, can lead to deeper feelings of loneliness and hinder the healing process. Many withdraw, telling themselves they need more time, don't want to bother anyone, or nobody understands. But isolation can quickly become a negative pattern that's hard to break. The more isolated you feel, the lonelier you become, and the lonelier you become, the more you want to isolate. Human connection is vital for mental health, especially after losing a loved one. When people isolate themselves for too long, feelings of sadness, anxiety, and despair often increase, even leading to a decline in physical health. Research shows prolonged social isolation can weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and shorten lifespan. Conversely, maintaining connections, even small ones, helps lighten the emotional load, providing comfort, empathy, and necessary support. Consider Arthur, 78. When his wife died, he stopped communicating. He didn't answer calls, declined family gatherings, rarely left the house. He told himself he wasn't in the mood, that people wouldn't understand. Months passed, and he felt worse. Days were empty, energy plummeted, appetite changed. It wasn't until a persistent neighbor invited him for coffee that things began to change. The short chat became a weekly habit. Then he rejoined gatherings with old friends. The more he interacted, the lighter he felt. Not because the pain vanished, but because he realized he wasn't alone. The key isn't forcing yourself into noisy events when you're not ready, but taking small steps to maintain connection. Answering the phone, taking a short walk with a friend, accepting a lunch invitation, joining a support group for bereaved individuals. These small actions help prevent slipping deeper into loneliness. If you don't feel like talking much, just being near others, listening, can remind you that life continues and support is available. Another related mistake is unintentionally pushing away those who care most. Grief can bring irritability, fatigue, and the feeling that others don't understand. But completely closing yourself off creates unnecessary distance. Loved ones might not have the perfect words, but their presence makes a difference. Opening up bit by bit, allowing them in, even just to sit in silence, can offer comfort. Seeking support from people who truly understand your experience is also important. Connecting with others in similar situations through support groups, community meetups, or online forums can be incredibly healing, validating your feelings and making you feel less alone. Grief doesn't follow a schedule. There's no right way. But complete isolation only makes the journey harder. Finding small ways to reconnect at your own pace brings strength, support, and even unexpected moments of joy. Remember, you don't have to carry this burden alone. There are always people who care, want to be there, and help you move forward. 3. Neglecting your own health. When a spouse dies, many focus so intensely on their grief that they stop taking care of their own health. It's easy to postpone doctor's appointments, skip meals, and let routines, exercise, sleep fall apart. Some even feel guilty about self-care, as if prioritizing health diminishes their love or grief. But neglecting your health doesn't bring you closer to the person you lost. It only makes the road ahead more difficult. Grief affects the body in ways many don't realize. Losing a spouse increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, weakened immunity, and cognitive decline. Extreme stress can lead to high blood pressure, sleep disturbances, and appetite changes. Some lose interest in food and lose weight. Others turn to unhealthy comfort foods and gain weight. Over time, these changes can seriously harm physical and mental health. The key isn't forcing yourself to get back to normal immediately, but making small, conscious choices each day to help your body maintain strength and balance. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. Consider James, 81. After his wife died, he stopped cooking, telling himself he wasn't hungry, eating mostly processed snacks. Months later, he felt weaker, had trouble sleeping, and was constantly tired. His daughter encouraged him to eat regularly again, helping prepare simple, nutritious meals. As James made small adjustments, eating more balanced meals, drinking more water, he noticed his energy improved, his mood stabilized, and he had more strength to face his emotions. Self-care involves not just diet, but also movement, sleep, and mental health. Many who lose a spouse stop exercising because they no longer have their partner. But staying physically active, even just a short daily walk, helps reduce stress, improve mood, and extend longevity. Joining a walking club or a gentle exercise class offers both physical benefits and social connection. Don't skip regular health checkups. Many postpone them because they feel too overwhelmed. But this is when healthcare is more crucial than ever. If it's been a while, schedule an appointment. Regular checkups, managing chronic conditions, and adhering to medication regimens make a huge difference. Mental health is equally important. Grief can lead to depression, anxiety, and despair, especially with isolation. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to seek help. Talking to a therapist or counselor, joining a support group, or opening up to a trusted friend can bring relief. Seeking support isn't weakness. It's a powerful step toward healing. Believe that your departed spouse would want you to take good care of yourself. Honoring their memory doesn't mean sacrificing your health. It means continuing to live in a way that allows you to find peace and strength. It's okay to grieve, to need time. But amidst it all, remember your health is vital. You are still here, and your well-being and happiness deserve protection. 4. Rushing into a new romantic relationship. Losing a spouse leaves a vast emotional void. The extreme loneliness that follows is often the hardest part. The thought of finding new companionship might seem like the only way to cope. While the desire for connection is valid, a common mistake is rushing into a new romantic relationship before fully processing the grief of the loss. The emotions of loss create a deep need for comfort. But making romantic decisions too soon, when wounds are fresh, easily leads to more pain, confusion, and regret. Grief has no timetable. Everyone heals at their own pace. But when emotions are fragile and chaotic, the risk of entering a relationship for the wrong reasons is high. Many unconsciously seek a new partner not because they're ready for love, but to try to replace what was lost, avoid loneliness, or escape the pain. These rebound. Relationships often start with intense feelings but lack stability, true understanding, and a solid foundation needed for long-term commitment. Consider Barbara, 72. A few months after her husband died, she met someone new through friends and quickly started a relationship. Initially, it provided the companionship she craved. Someone to talk to, dine with, distract her from loneliness. But gradually, she realized she wasn't truly ready. The relationship progressed faster than she wanted, and she felt trapped in something that wasn't right. Eventually, she had to step back in the relationship and take time for herself. She wished she had given herself more time before making such a big decision. A new relationship should be based on genuine connection, respect, and true readiness, not just a temporary pain reliever. After being partnered for decades, habits and memories run deep. Jumping into a new relationship before processing the loss can lead to unfair comparisons, unrealistic expectations, and feelings of guilt. Some struggle with conflicting emotions, wanting to move forward but feeling like they're betraying their deceased spouse. These feelings are natural but need to be acknowledged and processed healthily before fully opening one's heart. Another concern is vulnerability to people with ill intentions. Some individuals prey on grief and loneliness, approaching with feigned empathy, but actually aiming for emotional manipulation or financial gain. Romance scammers and opportunists often target older, widowed individuals, knowing they are fragile and longing for companionship. Therefore, trusting your intuition and taking time to get to know someone thoroughly is essential. If someone pressures you into quick commitments, early financial decisions, or tries to isolate you from friends and family, these are red flags that cannot be ignored. This doesn't mean avoiding love forever. Many widowed people find meaningful relationships later in life. But the healthiest, most fulfilling relationships happen when both partners are truly ready, and the decision comes from a place of healing and self-contentment, not desperation. Time and reflection are key. Taking time to process grief, rediscover your individual identity, and find peace in being alone before seeking a new partner makes a significant difference. If you decide to date again, go at your own pace. Take time to understand what you truly want and ensure you're entering it for the right reasons. Talk to trusted friends or family. Don't feel pressured by others' opinions. The decision is yours. Ultimately, grief and healing are personal journeys. There's no rush, deadline, or set rules. The most important thing is to care for yourself first, so that if and when the time comes, a new relationship can be built on a foundation of strength, peace, and true companionship. 5. Holding on to every single belonging. One of the hardest tasks after losing a spouse is deciding what to do with the possessions and mementos they left behind. Each item holds memories, and the thought of letting go can feel like losing them all over again. Many widowed individuals struggle with this, keeping everything, leaving things exactly as they were, fearing that change means erasing the life they shared. However, while holding on is understandable initially, keeping everything indefinitely can sometimes weigh down the grieving process, hindering emotional healing and the ability to move forward. Keeping some sentimental items is perfectly natural, but leaving the entire house unchanged for years, keeping the closet untouched, avoiding any alterations, can turn the home into a museum of grief rather than a place of comfort. Over time, it becomes a constant reminder of the loss, making it difficult to adapt to a new chapter. Consider Harold, 76. After his wife died, he left everything untouched. Her shoes by the door, clothes in the closet, her favorite chair empty. Initially, he felt it was a way to keep her close. But as months passed, he realized walking past her untouched belongings every day kept him emotionally stuck, trapped in the past. He wasn't ready to get rid of everything, but when he slowly started donating some items, keeping only a few truly meaningful pieces, her journals, a stamp collection, he felt surprisingly lighter. It wasn't about forgetting, it was about creating space for healing. Letting go of objects doesn't mean forgetting the person or loving them less. It means allowing yourself space to breathe, to live on. Instead of forcing sudden change, start with small steps. Select meaningful keepsakes and create a special place to store them. When ready, slowly sort through other items, deciding what still holds significance and what just takes up space. Perhaps ask a trusted friend or family member for help. Don't feel pressured by others to clean out before you're ready. This decision should be based on your own timeline and feelings. But also be self-aware. Is holding on to everything driven by guilt or fear, or is it genuinely keeping you stuck in grief longer than necessary? Consider repurposing or transforming items instead of just discarding them. Turn old shirts into a memory quilt, letters into an album, or gift meaningful items to loved ones who will cherish them. This way, the presence of the departed loved one remains, but brings warmth instead of just sorrow. Ultimately, grief doesn't reside in objects, but in love, memories, and connection. No object can replace a person, but holding on to everything won't bring them back either. Letting go slowly and thoughtfully isn't forgetting. It's a step that honors the memory while creating space for your own healing. Moving forward doesn't mean leaving them behind. It means carrying them with you in your heart in a way that allows both love and a new life to coexist. Conclusion. As we close this video, let's reflect on what we've discussed. Losing a life partner is a profound, painful experience that changes everything. But amidst the grief, remember that every decision you make has the power to shape your healing journey, either helping or hindering it. That's why learning to say no to these 5 things, rushing financial decisions, isolating yourself, neglecting your health, jumping into a new relationship too soon, and holding on to every belonging, can make a significant difference in your ability to move forward with strength, clarity, and peace. Grief has no timeline, no right or wrong way. But avoiding these common pitfalls helps you navigate the next chapter in a way that protects both your heart and your future. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Moving forward doesn't mean leaving your partner behind. It means honoring their memory in a way that allows you to continue living with purpose, peace, and even joy. From experience, please remember, allow yourself time. Don't rush. Seek trusted support. You don't have to be alone. Prioritize your own health. It's the foundation. Make decisions based on clarity, not fleeting emotions. Honor the past while making space for the present. Letting go of meaningful objects doesn't erase memories. Everyone's journey is unique. Don't compare. Listen to your own needs. What resonated most with you today? Which perspective did you find most important? We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment sharing something you learned or your thoughts. Your insights are valuable. Don't hesitate to share. Reading your comments brings us great motivation. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content. Thank you so much for watching. May you find strength, peace, and hope. See you in the next video.